Mom snuggled up to Dad in his Chevy Impala on the leather bench seat on their 4th date. Dad was Italian and loved the contrast of his skin with Mom's Norwegian white skin. Her blonde hair and round face and remnants of her Norwegian accent spoke directly to his post-pubescent hormones. There were other cars parked that night at the drive-in theater with dark heads watching Saturday Night Fever starring John Travolta. Mom and Dad kissed, and the windows in Dad's Chevy started to fog up. The drive-in speaker hung against the window. Mom and Dad were too busy with each other to notice John Travolta dancing in his white suit in the drive-in movie screen. As they kissed, Dad reached under Mom's wool sweater and made his way up toward her armpit. Mom positioned herself to lay further down on the leather bench seat as Dad whirled his tongue in her mouth. Mom's mother, my grandmother, hadn't met Dad, but Mom was sure she wouldn't approve of him. Dad was 18 years old, 2 years older than Mom. Mom and Dad continued kissing and dry humping on the leather bench seat of the car. Dad's leg hit the steering wheel, so he adjusted the seat to go all the way back for more comfort. Then Dad felt Mom's breast over her bra. She lifted herself up a bit to undo the hooks. Dad's excitement escalated as he felt her white Norwegian breast while John Travolta's Brooklyn accent came through the drive-in speaker hanging in the window. Dad ran his hand up Mom's thigh and under her skirt. Mom felt flush as Dad tugged lightly on her blue cotton panties. Mom was ready to have sex. Dad was hot stuff, and she didn't care about the lectures that Grandma gave her in the past about telling her to stay a virgin until she was married and make sure it was to a Norwegian boy in their Lutheran church. After prolonged dry humping, Dad finally got the courage. No, that animalistic motivation to unzip his pants and pull them down to his legs. Then he hiked up Mom's skirt and took her panties off. She lifted herself up a bit to make it easier. Dad's school friends made fun of him for being a virgin. He couldn't take it anymore. And he didn't realize that the friends who were teasing them were still technically virgins. Mom was so nervous she was finally going to lose her virginity that she suddenly had forgot about Grandma and her lectures. I was apathetic in those days. Swimming in Dad's left testicle. Not caring about John Travolta or God or Sex Pistols or survival of the fittest. The drive-in speaker hanging in Dad's Chevy started to slowly click against the window. The clicking became faster and faster to the movements of Mom and Dad's gyrations. My apathy turned to vigor. I swam round and round in Dad's testicle. I had thousands of brothers. I loved every one of them. We all had purpose. We were all so similar. We swam and we catapulted into space. Time stood still. All of us rushed without will, without freedom of choice. We gushed into the infinite together. I saw a blinding light for a split second and dark prickly hairs mashed up against each other. I felt a brief Arctic chill, and then I was racing on warm walls of red flesh. I curled my tail and felt the comforting, warm flesh. It was my first time as an international traveler. I left Italy for Norway. My Italian sperm brothers and I continued traveling north on a collision course into the vast nothingness. We slowed down. The intense connection I felt for my brothers turned into riotous fighting. It was like we were at a slam pit at a concert, jockeying for the stage, elbowing each other. Some of my brothers fell and died. I started to have a panic attack, but Mother Nature launched me forward. I was hit from the right. I was sucker punched from the left. My sperm brother in front of me whacked his tail so hard into my head I blacked out for a second. When I regained consciousness, I was being trampled and it pissed me off. Brothers or no brothers, I was out for blood. I pushed and I slaughtered. We were a crowd of sweaty, naked men crushed in a gladiator pit, fighting for our lives. I fought and I killed. We were hundreds of nude prisoners trying to escape through a narrow door into the darkness of night. It was then that I saw her in all her glory. My ovum, round, inviting. She was ready to open herself up to me. I was obsessed with that perfect egg. I rubbed my head against her soft, round body. One of my brothers, jealous of my ovum-love connection, tail-whipped me. I bit him in the ass. He looked at me confused. "She's mine," I yelled. He didn't respond, so I figured he didn't speak English. "Yo huevos, hermano." My Spanish was pathetic. I had just told him I am eggs, brother. He didn't understand and continued to caress my new love. Red-hot jealousy engulfed me. I swam back a bit and I charged forward at my sperm brother with brute force. He ducked out of the way, and my head felt a rush of heat as the egg took her hold on me. I wiggled my tail to try to pull back, but the ovum slurped me like I was a spaghetti noodle. All of a sudden, the ova was me and I was the ovum. She held me tight, completely wrapping herself around me. She entered me as I entered her. We both felt a little drunk and hungry. I figured all my other sperm brothers found their true loves and other ova in that womb. Much later, I understood they died on the leather seat of Dad's Chevy Impala. The clicking of the drive-in speaker against the window had stopped. I tasted my first cigarette, and it relaxed me, as did the bass drum of Mom's Norwegian beating heart. 9 months later, I weighed in at 8 pounds, 5 ounces. Ladies and gentlemen, Mom and Dad.